Y'all, the men are getting weirder and weirder. I was just at Whole Foods, minding my own damn business, in the frozen aisle, trying to pick out some food, and I get approached by this older guy who really looked like he should have been in ShopRite or Aldi's. And the first thing he says to me is, "Are you married?" And I said, "No." As I see him looking at my ring hand, I don't have a ring. I said, "No." He said, "Well, do you want to be married?" I said, "No." He said, "Oh, why not? What? I said, "I just don't. I'm not interested." He says, "Do you have Google on your phone?" I said, "Yes." "Why?" He says, "Because I want you to look up who I am." I said, "And what would that matter, sir? I already told you I'm not interested." And he says, oh, okay. And then he scurries off. I'm looking around like, am I about to be punked? Is this how men are really approaching women in 2025? Young and old. This man was old. He looked like he could have worked for the sanitation department. Maybe. I just left the gym. So I got on gym gear, I'm in shape. I take care of myself. I don't look like someone that this man should have been approaching. But what I'm wondering is, are women really desperate for marriage? Because is that his pickup line? Is that working for him? Are women actually like, "Oh, yes, I'd like to be married one day"? Are we not using discretion? Can men just roll up to us because we don't have a wedding ring on and that be the lure? I just didn't understand why he even thought that was appropriate. And then I just had to think, he must be doing this with other women and it must be working. So hopefully we're not that desperate, y'all. It's plenty of women who have been married for 20 plus years who are getting online and telling y'all, don't do it. It's a trap. There are studies that are going around saying that men fare better in marriages than women.
I think she's a weirdo. I think she's. I think she's a weirdo too. I mean, she's talking to a screen in a car by herself, alone. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, what do we perceive as weird? Like, he's not weird for trying to pursue a woman. He pursued her. He pursued her totally in the wrong way. I mean, if he was hopped out of like a Revolto Lambo, I'm sure she would have maybe Googled him. But it's just like he did his. He's men are gonna pursue their biological imperatives. Your biological imperatives to mate with women, to reproduce. So a lot of women have a problem when they don't approach, and now you have a problem when they do approach, but they're not good at it. So now they're weird. So it's just like, this is pretty insane. Like that, you're being weird by like basically putting this private engagement on blast to a bunch of people that you don't know, and you're exposing yourself, and you're just in a car by yourself talking phone screen. Like, that's the weirdest shit ever. Like, that is some weird shit. Like, you have a TikTok and you're like 40 something. Like, come on, be like, what is he doing?
I think he was trying to holler at her. What I didn't like is how she basically explained one experience that she had, and then she pretty much said the whole demographic of men are that way. So you had an experience in the grocery store with a guy who was interested in you. He asked you, were you married? And then she kind of went on and on and on, and I kind of tuned her out, to be honest. But you don't have a ring finger on a man asks you, are you married? That's him shooting his shot. That's not weird to me. And like Watch was saying, you can't have it both ways, man. Like, you can't complain about men not approaching And then when men do approach, you complain about the way the way they do approach. Asking a woman if she's married, he's actually doing what a lot of women say they want, which is be transparent. I'm asking you, are you married? Because I'm interested in you. It's pretty cut and dry. So, I mean, sometimes I think people use the internet to clout chase, right? One little incident happened, I'm gonna run to the internet. Maybe I'll go viral. Maybe I'll get some followers. I think the fucked up thing about it is that the people who agree with her, who had similar experiences, are now looking at a whole demographic of men and saying that men are weird, right? No different than if I had a chick that I thought there was a hoe trying to holler at me and I said, yo, women are hoes. Women would be like, what? Not all of us, but not all of us. Yeah, but the one that just tried to talk to me is a hoe, and I got the same genitalia, so all y'all hoes. That shit is crazy to me, man.
And it's not. It's the evil part is not just the shame. It's the shame for biological imperative. Let's not forget that. Like that's super damaging to young men. You're saying that the way you're programmed is not good. You're inherently broken. That's what we're telling young men.
I think her making this video, actually I saw it. It was sent to me by a couple of other people. And I was in the comment section, just reading through the comment section. I think it's very, how do I say this nice? So me personally, I don't like it. I don't like it because a lot of women complain, men don't approach and they don't talk to us. Okay, well, you don't tell them where. And then when they do approach because you don't like how he looks physically, then now he's a weirdo because you're not attracted to him. So it's just, I think more and more women having this type of perception of how a man should and shouldn't approach. I think it only bothers women because I'm gonna tell you right now, if that man if he looked like Willie or if he looked like JR or if he looked like Shells, if he would, depending, like she looks like she's probably like in our age range, probably like within 35, 45. If she was approached by any of the men up here, she'd probably be like, this guy just approached me and asked me if I was married. And then he told me to Google him. And she'd be having a completely different outlook on it. She'd probably be bragging like, this is how men should do it type of thing. I really liked how he just came up to me in the grocery store. Like she'd probably change her voice and everything. Like she'd be like, oh my God. But let's be for real. The only reason she had an issue with this was because of the fact, the first thing that she said this man looked older, which says that she's not attracted to older men. That was the first thing that she said. And then she went on to call him a weirdo and everything else about why he was not right for even approaching her. That to me is more damaging. And if more women continue to do things like that, then men aren't going to approach because we already know men don't approach women at the gym because they're going to think that you're thirsty and stalking. You can't approach women at a gas pump or at a gas station if you find them attractive because then you're a weirdo, you're following her. You can't be chivalrous and open a door for a woman anymore in 2025 because of, I think feminism has just ruined women's perception in today's time. It just ruined it.
Yeah, I think this was an attention-seeking video. I've heard plenty of old men. Are you married? That's like their baseline. It's like, well, if you're not, do you want to be? Like, I don't know if she's not had that experience. Sort of like with younger guys, they'd be like, you got a man? I'd be like, yeah. How long you had that problem? Like, what?
Yeah, it's a play.
It's just conversation. It's just like pickup lines. Like, you hear all type of stuff, but I'm not about to dump to the internet and say, yeah, he approached me at the gas station, grocery store, and he was weird for asking me if I was married. It was going back to what Chills was saying. Like, the old guys, they looking at your finger. Are you married? Like, most of them lead with that. Like, we've been hearing that women that's out there and you had men approach you with different type of calibers. You heard all type of things. So it's not like you surprised by that. I don't know if she don't get a lot of attention, or like I say, maybe this was just an attention-seeking video just to attack men and try to say they're weird for approaching you. That goes back to what Naomi was saying. Like, if it's always the issue, like, you can't dictate. You want them to be dressed a certain way, have a certain amount of money. They got to pull up in a certain car, listen to a certain music, have a certain aesthetic before they even open up their mouth. And then when they do, now you want to dictate what they're saying, how they saying it, how it's going to land. Like, it's just too much with these women nowadays. Again, that was just a simple conversation that she just took and went to wherever she went, TikTok or whatever, and just made a big scene about it. And again, the problem that we're having is so many people are impressionable. So many people are, they might be looking for advice, or they just hear this stuff a part of the algorithm, and it becomes a part of how we move and how we operate, and they get a delusion or confusion that that's how it's supposed to go. It's not. There's nothing wrong with a man walking up just saying, "Hey, are you married?" Like, damn, like you really didn't have to do that. Like, Watch was saying, if anybody, the weirdo was her. Like, you just took a regular, simple conversation and interaction and made it real deep, and then you generalized a bunch of other men. Like, yeah, she did way too much. Lame.